Overwatch is a multiplayer first-person shooter with a competitive leaderboard and a new and quite well-received esports scene. But this week players discovered a problem with the game's leaderboards. And it's a problem that's not the kind of problem that you want when you're trying to be an esport.
The Overwatch competitive leaderboard lists the top 500 players of the current season. You play well and you do it consistently, you get yourself on the leaderboard. But professional Overwatch Twitch streamer Aimbot Calvin recently bragged about something that fans had already been suspicious of. On his Twitch stream, Aimbot Calvin scrolled through the top 20 of the 500 players and pointed out the account at third as his main Aimbot Calvin account. He then highlights ranks 8, 10 and 18 as his Smurf or alternate accounts. Fans immediately got upset in his stream chat, saying that Calvin was taking away a spot from another deserving person. The streamer laughed, saying players should, quote, earn it. Smurf accounts is a term used for an experienced player making a new account to either pose as a new player or simply have fun rising through the ranks again, and they aren't a new thing. You could almost predict the way that they reacted. Like, the fans got upset, of course they got upset. The streamer laughed, of course he laughs. Like,
they're fans, he's a streamer.
I mean, that's just how you envision it, isn't it? That's how it happens.
That's the order of things. Captain of the professional Overwatch esports team Envision agreed with Calvin's blunt response, tweeting that if you are good at the game, it's not hard to get top 500, even with Smurfs taking up 100 plus spots. If you're complaining, you are bad. End of story. But this has seen a serious split in the community. One commenter described Aimbot Calvin's actions as, quote, one of those instances where the behaviour of esports competitors is incongruent with their desire to be treated like a real sport.
It's the incongruent, isn't it?
Yeah.
What place is he using that word when he watches streams, really?
College essays. Popular streamer EmonGG, having seen Aimbot Calvin's admission, agreed with fans' criticisms and said he'll begin decaying his Smurf accounts, allowing their ranking to drop out of the top 500 and leave only his main up there. At the moment, no one is really breaking any rules, but if Blizzard want Overwatch's competitive scene to be taken seriously and not simply become a place for professional Twitch streamers to high-five themselves, they might have to take some form of action.
I can see where people are getting upset about this, because if people are really trying hard to get up the rankings and there are other people there above them with multiple accounts, then it seems like they should be higher up, because essentially there is less people better than them than it appears. But is it anything more than just bragging rights, really? I mean, oh, I'm 12th, I should be 10th. I'm sure there's two people above me that shouldn't be there because they're alternate accounts. I should be 10th. What do you get from that? Is there any financial gain from that? Is there any sponsorship deals involved with being 10th and not 12th? I don't know. It just seems like bragging rights to me. I don't know whether I'm being too harsh there. Maybe I'm just like completely dismissing people's concerns and grievances offhand, but maybe I'm ignorant. I'm sure you'll enlighten me though in the comments. Also this week, a recent For Honor update replaced a finishing move that was the centre of a bit of controversy. The Valkyrie class's no-touching maneuver. The animation features the Valkyrie spearing her opponent. Her opponent then stumbles forward and in an attempt to stabilise himself, grabs onto the Valkyrie's breastplate. In essence, the Valkyrie gets groped. The fondling opponent then proceeds to shake his head in an apologetic manner, throwing his hands up in the air.
The Valkyrie then kicks her opponent straight in the groin, shield bashes them, which knocks them to the floor as their lifeless body is struck by a bolt of lightning. The community manager from Ubisoft took to the game's subreddit and explained that a new execution was coming and any players who bought the original would be refunded. The new animation sees the Valkyrie bring her shield up instead, so the enemy braces himself on that as opposed to her breastplate. The rest of the animation plays out as normal. It's being removed, in quotes, a bug fix, and the move wasn't even supposed to be included in the game in the first place. Apparently, the execution that was published back in November was an earlier version of the file that accidentally made its way into the game. The replacement animation, the new one, was supposed to have been added then. However, a time-stamping error involving, of all things, daylight savings time somehow resulted in the upload of the groping animation instead.
This is an animation that they pay for. Is it like a microtransaction thing?
It
said people were refunded, so in essence, essentially people were paying for this, and then I don't know. I mean, it does sound pretty tame to me. But then we saw the video, and it looks a bit gropey. It looks a bit bad.
Naff, innit? I mean,
yeah.
It's just what's they doing in there.
And also this week, Call of Duty World War II has crossed the $1 billion worldwide sales mark. It's now the #1 selling game in North America, with the other huge Activision shooter of the year, Destiny 2, sitting in second based on revenue. The news was announced in a year-end press release in which Activision said Call of Duty has been the top top-selling game series based on revenue for 8 of the last 9 years worldwide, and 9 years straight in North America. Not only that, but Call of Duty World War II is the biggest console digital launch in Activision Publishing's history.
Well, this is always what happens at the end of the year, I guess, isn't it? The companies kind of send out their press releases that are like celebrating the year that's just gone by, and Activision has had a hell of a year because it's been a CoD year, because that is every year, but it's also been a Destiny year. So they've had the top two selling games in North America were Activision games for revenue, so they made the most money. The interesting thing now is is that just box sales? Is that digital sales? Is that microtransactions? What does that account for? So you have to assume, because they said based on revenue, that it's all of those things. It's all the microtransactions and everything. So they're making a shite load of money, and they're a big corporation. They're making loads of money by kind of pissing their fans off.
Yeah,
still making loads of money.
They're pissing the fans off, but at the same time, this COD World War II was what the fans wanted, because last year it was Infinite Warfare. Nobody wanted that, and so they finally, boots on the ground, they brought the game that they were looking.
Loot boxes on Normandy Beach. Give us loot boxes on Normandy Beach. That's what everyone wanted.
That's what everyone wanted. So they've done that, and now they've got some great headlines, and they've got some bragging rights for that. You know, this is one of the best CODs in ages. So it makes you wonder what they're going to do in future. They're going to carry on with the World War II theme. They're going to do World War I like Battlefield 1 did. They're going to carry on in the past, or they're going to try and go in the future again. I mean, who knows?
And perhaps in brighter sales news, it was also confirmed this week that indie success story Cuphead, the debut game from family studio MDHR, has sold 2 million units on PC and Xbox worldwide. In a blog post revealing the news, Studio MDHR said, quote, "Even in our wildest dreams, we never thought our crazy little characters would be embraced by this many fans from around the world, and we are continuously humbled by your support." And in yet another sales performance story, Nintendo has sold over 1 million physical copies of Super Mario Odyssey since its 27th of October release date in Japan alone. The Switch console itself has reached nearly 3 million units there as well. The figures come from a data report from Famitsu, which was translated by Gematsu. In the European and American markets, Odyssey has sold 2 million units within its first 3 days and became the fastest selling Mario game ever in both markets. It's really great news for Cuphead. It's really nice to see someone who's kind of, poured their life into it, really, because there really is a family studio. This was their debut game, kind of unproven, untested people in a lot of ways, and they absolutely smash it out of the park. Xbox gets a great exclusive. PC gamers get to play this amazing 2D platformer that's completely its own thing. It's a success story in many, many ways. It's made loads of money, it got reviewed really well, and just kind of, it's a cool game as well. So it's an all-round success story for Cuphead, and also Nintendo's doing great still.
Studio MDHR. MDHR, I might.
Yeah.
Just scroll down in the comments and look how many people correct us for the way we say H. It's just the way we say it, unfortunately. It's H. It's the Queen's English. Isn't it? Oh, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, this is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, no.
Can you taste the cheer? Can you taste the Christmas cheer, guys? So there we go, the last real Sunday News Roundup of the year. Let us know what caught your eye in the news this week and this year. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every single day. There's another video right there which you could check right now, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. See you next time.